into herO versus Creator here then. Another 2-game series coming up then. As we have to the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player. This is herO. And to the bottom right, our blue Protoss player, Creator. As we kick off onto Disco Bloodbath for game number 1. Obviously, our last day of groups here. Tomorrow the playoffs will begin. We also have tiebreakers to be played tomorrow. So, at the moment, the plan for tomorrow is at 8 PM KST. We're going to be casting a live versus 3rd place from this group. Then we're going to be casting a live versus the winner of Group C, which will have been decided by tiebreakers. We're not currently planning to cast the tiebreakers because they're just a couple best of ones. I will make the replays available to map makers. We might cast them as like a follow-up, or might use them as like a YouTube exclusive or something. I don't know, but I don't have time in the live stream to cast them. So the plan for tomorrow is a live versus the 3rd place of the group. The winner of that then plays the 1st place of Group C. Then we're going to have MC versus the 2nd place of this group, and then the winner of that playing Bunny. Then the other couple round of 8 matches which remain, featuring True and Keen versus either Impact or Bly or Zest, depending on who finishes up where in Group C based on the tiebreakers. So that's what's going on. That's what is happening. As we get this set to go. So the Fallen 77, thank you so much for the 4-month streak on the resub. Says, hi man, good luck, have fun. And what's up, Varus SC2 for the 4 months as well. What happened 4 months ago that was so exciting, guys? I got like loads of 4-month resubs right here today. Thank you so much for the 4 months, I appreciate it. As herO going to open up with a hidden Stargate. The PvP, we didn't talk about it much just yet, because really after the 2 gates, the first interesting choice becomes the couple of Adepts. It becomes the Sentry and the Stalker. So, seeing the 2 Adepts on the way out here from herO means that he's going to get a lot of map control, going to be able to move across, have a look to see what's going on. As we do have the Stalker and Sentry, means that generally Creator's looking for an expansion, playing a bit safer. He wants to know what his opponent's up to as we get this going. Yeah, this map, people have commented on the map looking cool in the in the chat. It is pretty cool. It's got all these disco lights and disco boxes. I'm a fan. I am a fan. I think it's a very nicely designed map in terms of how it looks. So excited for that as we're going to be getting this underway. A couple of Adepts shading down to the bottom right. The Hallucinated Phoenix of Creator heading to the top left. And we see the Stargate just chrono boosting out an Oracle. That's going to be popping in a few moments. Has anyone danced on the dance floor yet? No, but I would love to see the Oracle dancing over here. Can you imagine? That looks so sick. Because the Oracle's dance is like, it makes it a disco ball, right? So it'd be perfect as we're going to be seeing Stalkers up into the main to deal with this Oracle, but already 4 workers lost and make that 5. However, that Oracle stuck around a bit too long, so we'll go down, but now the Adepts come in. This is what you're never meant to have happen, although the probe surround is good and quick, and the units are nearby, but it's 9 workers killed in total, and herO will be taking a huge worker lead from this. However, that said, he doesn't have a lot of army left on the map, so there is some advantage here from Creator. And obviously the Nexus only just finished up in a moment, so... okay. The next Oracle gets turned away after only 1 probe kill. As we do have the Robo Facility finishing up from Creator in the main base. So, starting up that Warp Prism, getting that underway. And you see this Oracle up on the top side. Coming out as well, as we do have, again, the Adepts starting to come through the center of the map, heading down to the bottom right-hand side. So some Adepts getting out into position. Warp Prism chrono boosting out of the Robo Facility here, so that's coming up pretty quickly as well. And again, the Adepts coming down to the bottom, going to move along in towards the Natural in the next few moments. Warp Prism going to head to the upper left-hand side, and again the 2 Oracles gathering together, so he's made a 3rd Oracle to dive in and maybe deal more damage as the Adepts will go to the Natural. There's not many probes here, but there's enough to cause concern. I think you commit. There's no way. I mean, you're going to get guaranteed 4 probes here because the Adepts just don't die fast enough. There's 3. Here's 4. And this is after one probe survived as well because the Adepts were just slightly out of sync with their attack. Oracles into the main. 1, 2, 3 more probes. No, just going to get out. Plays it safe. It's 6 workers killed in total, and herO is just absolutely bodying creator at the moment. Is just doing so well in this match. Doing a very, very good job. Immortal on the way up. And obviously the follow-up here from herO, just to go into a very standard comp with Immortals. Haven't seen anything like the Twilight Council just yet. It's still only 6 minutes in game as these two adepts will commit, but the Oracles are here, and the Warp Prism saves one of the two. Only 2 probes killed though, and that's not quite bringing you back into the game, which has a 10 worker difference still. 2 Oracles coming out through the top side, and they are going to be looking around here. Warp Prism through the middle of the map as well. You see the Forge, the Twilight Council continuing to come up. Oracles coming around the top, and again just going to be seeing the Phoenix about halfway done at the moment. Warp Prism coming over to the right. They're not really finding much opportunity at all. These Oracles also just being a bit more passive now and helping with a little bit of defense here and there. Obviously we're past that stage where herO gave up a lot of his army supply to deal damage, so there's no real counterattack potential either. Now as the both players are on 2 bases, there is this time of the game where Creator will catch up a little bit, and what's interesting is he's down in workers, but he isn't mining these gases, so he's actually not terribly set up if he commits to something like a Resonating Glaives all in, because you can make a lot of adepts off of just 2 gases, and so his mineral income is the same. He can get a good amount of units up. Whether it's going to work, I don't think so, because the Temple Archives already coming down is a perfect response to adepts. Archons with that splash damage, they clean up adepts so quickly and easily. They are absolutely the way to go against something like what Creator is doing. So, as long as there's a couple Archons in here, I don't see a heavy adept count working out, but I do think it's one of the better ways for Creator to try and get back into this game. Stalker's heading up through the center, a couple of Oracles on the Phoenix coming in from the bottom side, and more Zealots warping in the center. I mean, charge about to be done. Glaive Adepts do okay against charge loss. We're going to have, oh my god, a battle on the dance floor? I don't even think we've had a battle on the dance floor just yet. Before now, as we are going to be seeing the Adepts threatening to shade forwards. Will cancel at the last moment, and apparently herO isn't down to party tonight. Backing away to the top left-hand side, as his Warp Prism will go across the map. So I think realizing with the Adepts that this is pretty all-in from Creator, he's going to sit back and play defensively, as we are going to be seeing the Warp Prism of herO though. It's still going to cross. He can afford, he can survive without the Warp Prism at home. It's a pretty narrow ramp up into the natural, and of course this forces Warpins over here, all lost probes, and obviously starts to get quite a lot done. A Stasis Ward, another one being built as well, as a few Adepts do sacrifice themselves into it. Actually kind of force fields the area for the Zealots to come in and attack, so that makes it a bit awkward as herO loses a pylon. Is going to be supply blocked. Creator already losing 10 probes on the other side of the map. Here we go, the fight breaks out. The Archons not actually able to really get in range here. This one has not done anything just yet. I think the sheer number of units here from herO is probably going to be enough, as it just pushes straight on through. Adepts continue to fall, the Stalkers, the Sentries continue to fall, and this is going to be, I mean, he's going to get the Warp Prism before any extra Warpins. GG, and herO picks up game. So it's just going to be 6 matches today rather than the 10. It's not the end of the world, it's also not the best situation to be in. I appreciate that. I'm upset about it too, trust me. But, yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame. What's the TLMC? Great question. I'll answer that after we do some introduction of players. Top left-hand side, our red Protoss herO is up against the blue Protoss. Bottom right-hand side, Creator. TLMC is the Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament. The Team Liquid Map Contest. And this is the tournament phase of the map contest. So what happens is that map makers can submit a whole bunch of maps to the different categories. This time we had categories of Standard, Macro, Challenge 1, which meant building maps with mineral walls, and Challenge 2, which was using these inhibitor zones. So about 150 or more maps were submitted. The judges then judge the maps and bring them down to 16 finalists, which means that these maps have already won their creators some money. So all of the maps here have run so their makers some money, sponsored by Blizzard, and those 16 maps then then go into the tournament phase. So then we test it out in this $4,000 tournament, also sponsored by Blizzard. So we test out the maps on this tournament phase, and once we've tested out the maps here, we then the map makers have a chance to make changes to their map before final submission, and then these 16 maps go up to vote, and we see who the winner is. There's prize money to be had, and pretty much all of the time, most of the time, the top 5 or so maps make it to ladder over a couple of different seasons, and some of the others make it to ladder a lot of the time as well. Yeah, and obviously this is the first time we've seen inhibitor zones today. They slow down ground and air units by 35%. So they have a big slow right here, as we see a couple of adepts on the way up here from herO, Stalker, and a sentry on the way out from Creator. There's a pylon in the bottom left, not being used to build anything though. It might just be a mind game, right? Because after the last game, obviously herO was like, okay, I've built up a proxy Stargate, and, you know, it hurt you. This game, he's like, okay, well, I'm missing a pylon, right? I've got one less pylon in my main base than I should have. And that's getting down to Creator to try and figure out, well, what's going on? Where's that extra pylon? Is it a proxy Stargate again, right? Because he sees 2 adepts as well. So herO makes this look exactly the same, and may cause kind of Creator to take some extra precautions. I wouldn't say Creator's being that safe, though. He's not building a shield battery, etc. As the Nexus does come down. Probe to the far right, and again a couple of adepts just hanging out. Nexus coming down on the natural here, so both players expanding to the natural expansion as we see a few Stalkers gathered together. Adepts trying to push up this ramp, but the block is there on the shield battery. Creator doing that very typical move and walling this area off. So no surprise there as we see this Nexus dropping down on the natural expansion. You're going to see this hallucinated Phoenix still flying in overhead. Those few sentries turning to deal just a little bit of damage to it. So hallucinated Phoenix taking some damage. Another hallucination out from the main. And this one single adept just starting to move forwards here. Try and see what's going on. Again, robot facility on each side of the map. Forge a little bit faster here from herO, but it is coming up from Creator too. Worker count is even. Army supply is even. You know, we've had a first few minutes of the game where not too much damage has been done. Just some hallucinations, scouting around, seeing what's up. These couple of adepts again still just trying to find a way to deal some damage here. Shield battery is there again. It's annoying, yes, having to build this all the time, but much better than letting 2 adepts in your main base. Twilight Council drops in the main. So herO going to be the first to show us something a little bit beyond just the boring old gateway units. Probably charge, probably just going into towards that Temple Archives for the Archons as well. Again, it's a very typical composition that we're starting to see here as this hallucinated Phoenix heads to the main base. We're going to be scouting through here in the next few moments. So hallucinated Phoenix scouts into the main, looking to see what's up, and then over through the natural. Stalkers and sentries able to pick off that hallucination as well. As Creator comes all the way up to the top side of the map, that hallucination will be slowed by the inhibitor zones, but not really a major effect. It is an interesting thing though. I feel like if we saw some more Terran games on this map, these inhibitor zones on the side could become very influential in terms of how they slow down drops from escaping and so on. As that is actually a sentry dead and a few probes. Painful couple of adepts. Is herO actually going to be the first to really take damage here in game 2? Again, charge starting from both. Kind of expected the +2 attack as well. And the Temple Archives, like previously mentioned as well. I still feel Creator's just a little bit behind on that, right? He still doesn't have the Temple Archives started despite the Twilight Council for the charge. There we go, starting it up now. I mean, the ideas are all there though, right? And these guys are really just playing off of each other in very similar ways for the moment. Actually going to see the a couple of adepts of herO actually getting in. A couple in the main and a couple in the natural. So he will finally find some reverse damage for what was done to him just moments ago. It is still just those slight advantages, isn't it? That +2 just being a little bit ahead. Charged a little sooner. The Immortal count just actually in favor of Creator here, though will even up and neither player's building anything else. Now herO builds a second Immortal. That was only because he actually had the Warp Prism. Obviously with the Warp Prism in play, it slows down your Immortal production a little bit. The Adepts are going to come in, kill a couple probes, and shade back towards the Prism here. It means that they can actually be saved. That's beautiful play. Good little maneuver by herO. Good way to just maximize the damage you're able to get done. There's a couple of sentries pushing the hallucinated Phoenix out over to the right-hand side. So, a couple of sentries pushing that out over there, as the warp prism from herO now up the left side of the map, coming into position as well. So warp prism moving up the top as we see +2 attack coming in on each side. And again, that hallucinated Phoenix over to the right-hand side as well. Extra gateways on the way up. Sub Flesho coming in with the 1 year resub. Thank you so much for the 1 year. Appreciate it. Giving us some hype in the chat for Flesho, guys. Thank you so much for the 1 year love. Appreciate it. Couple of sentries picking off that hallucination as herO's getting aggressive. Obviously coming straight through the center here. Will be slowed a little bit on his advance. These units of Crater just sat out the front of the natural. A couple of Archons in the lead, and well, here we go. A couple of shots going down. Guardian Shield is popped up. And the third Nexus from Crater set down on the upper right. Yeah, extra Zealots warping in, and we do have the Immortals lifting up and going to the main base. That pylon would be huge, and I think Crater knows, herO knows that. Crater does too. He brings his Archons in. That is 5 unpowered gateways. And herO's just like, okay, I'll back away here. That's going to be, it's not tons of damage, but it does slow down a production cycle or so. And herO will just go back home and be like, okay, well, I can get that little advantage here and, you know, use that a little bit later on now. We'll get a recall off on this Warp Prism, so the Warp Prism does end up being saved back to the natural expansion. Warp Prism got pretty low as well. Those Archons were chasing it pretty hard. They were quite committed to try and get that kill, but it doesn't work out quite in the end. Hallucinated Phoenix pushed away by the couple of other units here. And again, the Warp Prism still heading around the right-hand side. This other Phoenix in the center also being picked away at. Again, just going to boost out the Immortals. Couple more Zealots on the way down. +3 attack being Chrono boosted out as well. The Archon about to finish up on the third base. And again, as that Archon finishes, you see this Warp Prism here just lifting up a few extra Zealots and coming down the right side. This army of herO still pressing down to the bottom. A hallucinated Phoenix from Crater going to set up and start moving now to the center of the map as well. Archon just wandering underneath. Prism over here, just unloading a couple of Zealots is all it takes to force a warp in and to cause some chaos ahead of a fight. And here we go. Feels like herO's already getting the better end of this as Crater's the one having a kite away. Taking quite a bit of damage. He pops a hallucinated Archon. Bit of a desperation measure to try and distract a little bit. He does have Archons and Zealots across the map. But obviously, when you've lost so much of your army over here, that's probably not going to matter, because now herO could just recall back into it. And herO's very good in these PvPs, doing some good bits and pieces as here on Winter's Gate. herO's going to take the 2-0, and they will start with Creator going 0-4 in maps. Not the best of starts. This is going to be seen. Immortals, Archon, Stalker, all pressing through these buildings here, these structures at the front, so that all gets taken down. And we are just going to be seeing the Zealots continue to swipe their way through the Twilight Council, the Assimilator, etc. And, well, I mean, again, it's a little bit of a base trade-ish scenario. herO can't actually build anything else, but he also has so much more. You can still mine this third base as well. If you can get 400 minerals, you can build a Nexus on the bottom right-hand side, which is kind of just a, a confirmed win at that point, because then he doesn't even have to think about being over here. And I think he's going to get 400 minerals before these other units clean up. Actually, just going to recall as well. I mean, why wouldn't he? Wait, did he just recall the probes? Okay, we recalled probes and a bit of army. That's like, was that only probes though? Because it kind of looked like only probes for moments. He's going to be having this Nexus going down as well. And Creator still trying to make this happen as he pushes in over here. I kind of feel like this was not the set of units you should have recalled. Like an Immortal, 2 Sentries, and a Stalker doesn't quite seem to cut it. I mean, the rest of the army now from herO heading back, but he's lost a few units here. I mean, this is a mistake, right? Like, he lost a few units, he brought more of his probes over and put them in danger. Well, now herO has to push through this little inhibitor zone to get here. He still has way more units, obviously, like extra Archons, etc. Warp Prism Micro is a possibility, but I think Creator is probably going to realize pretty quickly that it's not going to win him a game. GG. herO picks up game 2 and will take his first series